This week's episode of New on Music Row is jam-packed with all the stuff that you love and some of the stuff that you don't even know about. You got to stick around because all the details are coming up in just a little bit. You can only catch it here on the Rise Network and, of course, on Spotify and Apple as well. But that's about it. So stick around because we've got all that information and so much more coming to you in just a few seconds right here on the Rise Network. Chris Miles back at you. Welcome to the 47th episode of New on Music Row. We took a break last week, although you probably saw me out and about. I was actually on Music Row last week. Got to do a lot of really cool things. Got to tour Studio B, I think it is. Studio A, I can't remember. It was a whirlwind of a week last week. But I got to stand in the spot where Elvis sang quite a few of his really cool songs. And also got to tour some of the other areas as well. Got to tour the Ryman and also the Grand Ole Opry backstage as well. I've got some great stories to share with you on that as well. But we've got a lot of ground we've got to cover because it's been 2 weeks. So let's talk about what happened 2 weeks ago on the show. 2 weeks ago, we featured Loving Life Again, Ella Langley. We featured Country and She Knows It, Luke Bryan. Stand Still, My, Max McNow, who I told you needs to be on your radar. Well, here's the reason why. When I was touring the Ryman, Max McNow was playing the Ryman. And I got a second to get like a sneak preview of how he sounds live. He sounds just as good live as he does on the recording, or as we used to say back in the day, on the record. So you got to check him out if you haven't already. Hudson Westbrook, Hey Dallas, and then we rounded it out with One for the Road, Preston Cooper. So where did all those things end up? Well, I've got a whole bunch of totals for you, and I think what we're going to do is we're just going to break it down like this. So the last week, if we would have talked about this, we would have had 3.3 million streams for Ella Langley's Loving Life Again. I think it's no surprise that right now she's sitting at 12.2 million total streams. Right? Are you surprised? I'm not. I think the people who saw her when Morgan Wallen came out last week, Thursday, for his special private concert for the SiriusXM event were surprised when she came out to sing a song with him. I think that's probably where the surprise came from. Luke Bryan's Country and She Knows It. Yeah, 275,000 streams. Right now he's sitting at about 682,000. Max McNow, 1.1 million streams. Right now, he's sitting at 1.8 million streams. So maybe you guys saw that little quick blurb video about how I said you need to put him on your radar and you saw it. Or maybe you saw him live at the Ryman. Either way, really good to see that he's doing well. Hudson Westbrook, what did he end up? 1.2 million streams. And now he's at 1.5 million total. So, Hey Dallas, doing pretty good for him. I told you that was going to be kind of a good, sing-along kind of tune, riding around, road trip tune. I think you'll enjoy it. If you haven't listened to it already, it's on the playlist. Go to Spotify. You can check it out. New on Music Row is the name of the playlist there. All the songs that we've talked about for almost all the shows are on there. My producer's looking at me and he's like, you need to edit that. I know. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm a little, I love the songs that I picked. So I don't know. We'll get the newer songs are at the top. That's what you need to worry about. Anyway, last but not least, Preston Cooper's One for the Road. He landed at about 136,000 total streams last week. He was at about 78,000. So now he's at 136. So that's how those ended up. And then how did the picks from that I did a little bit in there? Did you catch the little 30-second video that I did last week? I was standing outside of Studio B. Yeah. I gave you 5 picks for this week. So let's talk about those. When the Kingdom Comes, Lee Brice, sitting at about 100,000 streams. Some of you probably won't connect with that too much. It's a little bit more on the Christian contemporary side, but it's a great song for him. And it's showing a side of him that I think a lot of his fans may or may not have known about. Ashley Cook's Exes, doing well for her, 276,000 streams. Take a listen to that song if you haven't. Ashley's just one of those artists that I think you guys just need to get behind and listen to her. And, I think you're going to enjoy her. She's coming into her own, and pretty soon, you're going to see her out there on the road as well, too. Probably even headlining stuff. Ty Myers, Me Neither. No surprise here, 967,000 streams. I was not surprised, and, I don't think you are either. Ty's got that great soulful bluesy sound, and he's just got some great stuff out there that you can check out. Unglued, Flatland Calvary was next, 391,000 streams. Speaking of Flatland Calvary, we're going to be talking about somebody that's related to that group in the Rising Star Spotlight, but that's coming up in a little bit. But I'm doing a little little teasing like we do in the radio. That's what we do here in the show as well, too. Last but not least, we had Cameron Whitcomb's Kingdom of Fear. 3.1 million streams. So Cameron's somebody that's on your radar and continues to pump out some great stuff as well. So those are the 5 picks from last week and the 5 picks from the week before. How do you think? You like them? You enjoy them? Leave me the comments in the comment section. As always, I've got some great ones for you this week. Starting off with a band that formed it's a duo, I should say, that formed in Nashville. Both guys are from completely different areas. One's from Georgia, and I think the other one's from Pennsylvania, if I remember correctly. I'm talking about a really cool song called Say So, which is pretty cool because of the story that's behind it. And I know I haven't told you the duo or the group yet. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. It's Dan and Shay. A lot of you are probably going, ooh, Dan and Shay. And some of you are going, oh, I love Dan and Shay. They kind of fall either way with fans. You know, if you're an outlaw country fan, you probably haven't heard of them. If you're more of a pop country fan, you've definitely heard of them. Say So's a great song no matter what, though. You need to take a listen to it because it's all about mental health and about, if you need something, you just got to reach out and you got to say something. And sometimes when you're battling things, that's hard to do. I get it. I deal with things as well, too. I think if we're all being honest with each other, we suffer from something in the mental health world at some time of our lives. But just so you know that there's always somebody out there to reach out to as well. Check out the song. It's going to be on the playlist, new on Music Row, right there on Spotify. Say So, great song. I think you're going to fall in love with it. If you don't know Dan and Shay, check out Tequila. Great song from them. They're probably best known for 10,000 Hours. Speechless is a great song that I love from them. And then Glad You Exist. That's probably my favorite song from them of all time. Up next, Mackenzie Carpenter, All In Already. She was on the Rising Star Spotlight back in October of last year, October 17th to be exact. She's from Hull, Georgia, and she's got a great, great story. She's was touring along with Jordan Davis and Mitchell Tenpenny. I think that tour's just about wrapping up, but she'll be out again this summer, out with somebody else as well. Make sure you get a chance to check her out. She's got amazing song credits behind her. I Wish You Would is a great song of hers. Nothing Crazy, which is a Megan Maroney song. She co-wrote that with Megan, and she's featured on the song as well. Only Girl is another great one from her. She's got a great play on Girls Just Want to Have Fun from Cyndi Lauper. It's called Country Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Check that out. And then also another great song from her to check out is Can't Nobody. And I just think Mackenzie, it needs to be on your radar. I said it about Max a couple weeks ago. I'm going to say it about Mackenzie as well, too. And the reason why I'm saying that is just because she continues to prove why she's really one of the most exciting songwriters in Nashville. All In Already is really like a clever, high-energy anthem, and it really captures the whirlwind of a new crush in, kind of her trademark style and relatability. So that's more reasons why I think you should check out the song. Up next, 49 Winchester, who was featured as the up-and-coming class for the Grand Ole Opry a couple years ago. They've got a new song out. It's called Slowly. Check it out. More on the outlaw country side of things, the bluegrass side of things, but it's a great song. They, of course, are from Castlewood, Virginia. If you haven't heard of the band, like I said, they've only been out for a couple of years, but they've got some great stuff to check out. Everlasting Lover is a great song. I love Anchor and Annabelle, and also Russell County Line, a great song to check out from them. Next up, Thelma and James, named because, the band members are named, one's named Thelma, and the one's named James, sorry, and the middle name of the other one is Thelma. That's kind of how they put their name together. Kind of an interesting view on things, too. Alternate Ending is the name of the song that they have coming out this week. They're, of course, from Nashville, Tennessee. Great stuff that they've got coming down the pipeline to check out. Happy Ever After, also released out as well, is If You Ain't in Love by Now. Just from the title alone, that makes you want to listen to it, right? And then last but not least, I checked out First Love, said I think you should take a look at that as well. Last but not least, I seem to have this thing about people from Canada. I don't know what it is. I think I featured somebody from Canada on the list last week, and now I'm featuring from somebody on Canada on the list from this week. But Josh Ross has been featured before on the show as well. Give Her Hell is the title of his new cut that's out. He, of course, is from Waterdown, Ontario, Canada. And he was featured on the show once before. Scared of Getting Sober is a song that we highlighted for you. Drunk Right Now is a great song from him. He also got he did that with Akon. So if you are an R&B fan or you know some 90s R&B, you've probably heard of Akon before. Single Again is another great track from him. And then check out Ain't Doing Jack, kind of a cool play on what I think you know. You know what I mean, right? I don't have to get into it. Yeah, okay. All right, so those are the 5 picks of the week. Dan and Shay's Say So, which is a great mental awareness video and song. All In Already, Mackenzie Carpenter. Slowly, 49 Winchester. Alternate Ending, Thelma and James. And then last but not least, Give Her Hell from Josh Ross. All of the 5 picks of the week. Let me know what you think in the comments. When I was out and about on Music Row, actually had somebody come up to me while I was filming one of my little clips and say, "Oh, you got a." I think he was from Australia. At least that's what his accent sounded like. Maybe I'm getting confused with some other area as well. But he came up and he was like, "Oh, you got a show." And I was like, "Yeah." And so we kind of talked about it for a little bit. He checked it out, and then he kind of told me about 49 Winchester, and I was like, "Oh, I've heard of them," but I hadn't really gotten into them. So we had a pretty cool conversation about them, and hopefully he sees this, and there you go. I added 49 Winchester just for you there. All right, moving on. The Rising Star Spotlight of the week. And I'm going to apologize to you. I probably should have featured this gal a while ago for a couple of reasons. Number one, because she's got a great story. But number two, because I've talked about Flatland Calvary a lot. And, this gal is married to one of the guys from the band. But she's got a great style that's all her own. She's been featured in a pretty popular video that's out right now as well. And she's got some great stuff out there. And she's got a little bit of a musical theater background as well, too. So that's kind of cool because I do as well. So I'm talking about Caitlin Butts. She's from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And she's just got a lot of great stuff out there. She's on Flatland Calvary's A Life Where We Work Out. Her husband is the lead singer. She's also on Tyler Braden's Might Be Dangerous. How Lucky Am I is a great song from her. White River as well. I love this song, and there's some other people do too. We'll talk about it in a little bit. You Ain't Gotta Die to Be Dead to Me. What a great title, right? I think it's awesome. And then last but not least, Hunt You Down. All great songs from her to check out. We'll put a couple of those on the playlist on Spotify. You can check that out again. Of course, it's called New on Music Row. And you can find it right there on Spotify playlist. And you'll be able to listen to all the songs that we've talked about so far on the show. Like I said, she does have theater roots. Before she found her way into country music, she grew up in Tulsa doing musical theater from like 5 until like 14. And she's spent so many hours in ballet, tap, dance, ballet. I said ballet, but also like jazz dance and stuff. And then she also took acting lessons, of course, too. She is completely overly fascinated with Oklahoma, so much so that one of her albums, Roadrunner, as a matter of fact, is a concept album which is inspired by the classic Rodgers and Hammerstein musical Oklahoma as well. She's a quick study, with the dancing background that she has. I think it's no surprise to any of us that she learned the choreography for her video Hunt You Down in about 20 minutes while they were doing her makeup. She, like I said, she's married to Cleto Cordero, the lead singer. Cordero, sorry, the light's reflecting weird on my laptop here. He's the lead singer of the band and Calvary, of course. Don't get old. This is what happens. Sometimes you got to look at things in a weird sort of way. She's open for Lainey Wilson, Ella Langley, Flatland Calvary. More on the Ella Langley thing in just a second, by the way. Dierks Bentley, Brothers Osborne, Turnpike Troubadours. I can't talk today. Parker McCullum, and then also Morgan Wallen. So, I mean, a lot of people enjoy her music. She's got Okie, like, Oklahoma slang. She once used footage from her own wedding to create footage from the music video, How Lucky Am I? And the cool thing about that is she wanted fans to see inside her life. Outside of the singing world. So I think that's kind of cool. She's raw and honest. She intentionally writes about the unpretty parts of life, monotony, anger, survival, and, rather than just be the beauty queen or the heartbroken tropes type, she likes to go a different route. She's known as the Cosmic Cowgirl. She uses that aesthetic to blend a classic country twang with a cosmic swirl of guitar, pedal steel, and shimmering psychedelic influences. So if you're somebody who listens to or is influenced maybe from your parents from the 70s and the 60s psychedelic era, you're probably going to get into her as well. She has a little bit of a hee-haw vibe to her. Her go-to description of her music is upbeat country energy paired with themes of heartbreak and sharp storytelling. And last but not least, I kind of saved this one for the end because I think it's really cool. If you've seen the music video, Ella Langley's, she's from Texas, right? You've seen her in the video. She plays a bully who confronts Ella in the saloon bathroom, and she kind of quotes part of the song, says, "Texas has a way of keeping what's theirs." So she's in the video. There's a couple other people featured in the video as well, too. It's kind of a cool, fun video, and I think you're going to enjoy it as well. So if you've seen Caitlin Butts and didn't realize it, that's because you probably saw her in that video as well. So that is the Rising Star Spotlight of the week. Caitlin Butts is who we're talking about. Again, we'll feature some of her songs on the playlist there on Spotify. It's called New on Music Row. Check it out. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it as well. Now we get to my favorite part of the show. I always love to go back and learn about country music and like get into the old history of things. Like that's why I went to the Country Music Hall of Fame while I was in Nashville as well too. Really cool to go there. The Lainey Wilson exhibit that's up there right now is so awesome. It's kind of like, it just tells the whole story. It's so cool that her mom is so involved in her career that she actually went back and she got like old baby clothes and put them up on display. There's like tickets from the first time she went to Dollywood, which are there. It's really cool. And it's a cool exhibit to see. They also have a great area where they feature a lot of the newer artists as well. So I got some great pictures of that. It was great experience there as well. And then did you know that Elvis had a car that had TV in the back of it? Yeah. Well, that car's on display at the Country Music Hall of Fame, and now you know. So there we go. Let's go to country music history with that in mind. Let's talk about who was born on this day, 1990. We're, of course, talking about April the 10th from Arlington, Texas. We got a Texas thing going on here. Anyway, singer-songwriter Maren Morris, who some people are like, she left country, and some people are like, it's okay, she came back. I don't know. It doesn't matter where you stand on it. You got to admit the fact that she's a great singer-songwriter. She's got a major debut album, Hero, right? It was reached #1 on the top country chart. She's also a member of the Highwomen. It's a group consisting of Brandi Carlile, Amanda Shires, and Natalie Hemby. And she was born on this day. So happy birthday to Maren Morris in 1990. Let's take a look at what happened in country music. In 1993, Reba McEntire and Vince Gill had the pole position on the Broadway Country Singles Chart with The Heart Won't Lie. Remember that song? It's the second single released from Reba's album. It's Your Call. Was originally planned to be a duet with Kenny Rogers, but when Rogers proved unavailable, Reba decided to record the song with Vince Gill. There you go. In 2006, CMT honored Hank Williams Jr. with the Johnny Cash Visionary Award, presenting to him at the 2006 CMT Music Awards. In 2011, American reality documentary television series The Judds debuted on the Oprah Winfrey Network. The series followed the daily life of mother-daughter Grammy Award-winning Wynonna and Naomi Judd while they rehearsed and get ready for their latest tour. If you haven't checked it out, I think it's available. I think I saw it. I don't remember. It might have been on Hulu. If not, I know you can probably find it on YouTube. You can find a lot of stuff on YouTube, by the way, including this show, just in case you didn't know. 2013, the CMA announced that the Kenny Rogers would be the 2013 inductee into the Country Music Hall of Fame, along with Cowboy Jack Clement and Buddy Bear. In 2014, Linda Ronstadt was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That was a ceremony that was held in Brooklyn. She wasn't able to be there. She wasn't feeling well, but Sheryl Crow, Emmylou Harris, Stevie Nicks, Bonnie Raitt, and Carrie Underwood all stepped up to the plate to pay tribute to her and sang a couple of her songs as well. Last but not least, the old Wayback Machine here. 2022, Tanya Tucker celebrated the 50th anniversary of her first single, Delta Dawn, with an all-star concert at the Ryman Auditorium. Guests included Brenda Lee, T. Graham Brown, Delbert McClinton, Paul Overstreet, Jesse Coulter, LeAnn Rimes, Ty Hearden, and Brandi Carlile. So that's a look from the Wayback Machine on what happened on this date, of course, April the 10th in country music history. Moving on, the weekly pick. Something that I think you need to get a hold of as far as music is concerned. It seems like the weekly picks have now kind of changed from being artists to actually songs. There's a lot of great stuff coming out, and I've got 5 picks, and that's pretty much all I can do. So there's some other stuff, there's some other music out there that I want you to take a listen to, and the weekly pick this week is another one of those songs. This guy is from Alvarado, Texas. He's got over 20 million followers on TikTok alone. And he's got a great song out right now. When no one's around, it's Taylor Holden. You need to check out this song. It's absolutely fabulous. It's just such a great song. And it resonated with me so much that I was like, you know what? Out of all the stuff that came out within the last couple of weeks, this is the one that I think we need to kind of be putting on the radar, calling up the radio station, saying, hey, I want to hear it. And let's get this thing out there in the world and give it a little bit more love. Now, if you don't know who Taylor Holder is, well, I've got some interesting information for you about him, but he's got some great stuff to check out. This Ain't You Leavin' is a great song from his. Dying Flames, Nothing But Neon, Time in This Truck. And then last but not least, my favorite song of his is Marry You. And it's kind of a departure from the stuff that he's known for, because he claims, or he says, I should say, that his biggest inspiration is Justin Bieber. So if that gives you a little bit of insight into what his music kind of sounds like, Marry You doesn't sound like a Justin Bieber song at all. And it's such a shift from like some of this other stuff that he does, from like This Ain't You Leavin' and Dying Flames, that it's just, it's such an amazing song. And I think it's going to grab you once you hear it. I think we're going to throw it on the playlist as well, just because it's my favorite song from him. He is a musical instrumentalist. Of course he sings, but he plays the guitar, the piano, the drums, and even the saxophone. When was the last time you heard a saxophone in a country song, huh? He's been named as CMT's Next Up Now artist. He describes his music style as a blend of traditional country storytelling and contemporary pop sensibility. And then he basically kind of went from R&B roots, which is kind of interesting, knowing that Justin Bieber is his biggest influence, was while he was in Los Angeles. Then he kind of got into country, and that's kind of where he's landed. He says, country is where I want to sit. It feels most natural, and it's where I'm from. So, I'm in Alvarado, Texas. Yeah, I get it. So he is a TikTok powerhouse, like we talked about, over 20 million stars. He's even surpassed, get this, Morgan Wallen. Wow. There you go. He's a pro motocross rider. That's where he got his start. He was before he got into social media, he was riding the motocrosses there. Started that at the age of 3. I know he got into a pretty bad accident in his teen years, and that is kind of the reason why he got out, but then he got into singing, songwriting as well, too. He does have a pet Pomeranian named Eli, who has its own Instagram account. Unfortunately, I don't know the sex of the dog, so I can't say he or she, but the name of the Instagram account is It's Little Eli. And it's got over 40,000 followers for a Pomeranian. Wow. He's influenced by Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll actually came alongside of him. He kind of calls him like his mentor. And Jelly kind of gave him some ideas, said, maybe you should pivot from the music you're doing now to a more authentic version of himself in his songwriting, moving away from singing about things that he hasn't personally experienced and moving into things that he actually has experienced. And I think that's why he's starting to resonate with me and some of my other friends and associates as well, too, because they've told me about him as well. And you can see that and you can feel that in his music. He's open for Parker McCollum. He's even open for Post Malone, Chase Matthew, and even Dylan Scott as well. So he's been around with a couple of big stars, and, he's going to be making a name for himself. He kind of has already, but he's going to be making a bigger name for himself, and I think you should check out that song as well. So the weekly pick for the week, When No One's Around, Taylor Holder, check it out. It's going to be on the playlist right there on Spotify. It's called New on Music Row, and that's the episode for the week. So happy to be back in my hometown of Chicago, or Chi-Town, Chicago. Sorry, I was just messing around. Although, I will say this, a little bit of my heart was left in Nashville. I really, really fell in love with that place. So who knows? We'll see. Maybe the show will become live from Nashville soon. I don't know. I'm big dreams, big hopes, whatever. I'm going to leave it at that. And until then, when we get back together next week, I'll see you on the flip side.